There are moments in the entertainment world that need no clarification, no press conference, and not even a single sentence to explain their meaning. Such moments usually come suddenly, last only a brief moment, yet leave a lasting impression on anyone who witnesses them. Moments that make viewers stop scrolling, hold their breath, and ask themselves, "What did I just see?" And that moment is now firmly attached to two names that are currently the talk of the town: Zhang Ruonan and Bai Jingting. There was no romantic scene. There was no obvious touch of hands. There were no sweet words that could be used as evidence. All there was a small, very human gesture, almost overlooked, but precisely because of that, it felt so real. A gesture too natural to be staged, too honest to be called a coincidence, and too emotional to be ignored. In the midst of a crowded public event, with dazzling spotlights and cameras constantly watching every corner, Jeang Runin stood gracefully as usual. Her face was calm, her smile professional, her posture neat, as befits a public figure accustomed to being in the public eye. But all that changed in a split second, just as she noticed Bai Jingting's presence nearby. It was as if something had shifted the atmosphere around her, as if the noisy world had suddenly dimmed, leaving a small space filled with only the two of them. Jeang Runin's smile appeared slowly, not the smile she usually showed for the camera, but a reflexive smile that appeared before she had time to control it. It was a smile that was not made, not prepared, and not conscious. Her eyes softened, her gaze changed, and her shoulders seemed to relax a little, like someone who suddenly felt safe in the middle of a crowd. She bowed her head for a split second, a simple gesture often made by someone when faced with feelings too personal to show in public. The movement of her hand touching her hair, the slightly restrained breath, and the brief pause before she lifted her face again. It all happened so quickly, but it was enough for the camera and the audience to capture something that could not be explained by a script or theory. Body language never lies. It always comes before the mind has time to formulate an excuse. And that is precisely why Jeang Runin's gesture felt so moving. She wasn't acting. She wasn't playing a role. She was just being herself, in a small moment when her guard was down and her feelings took control. Many say that such expressions only appear when someone is near someone who makes them feel comfortable, close, and perhaps meaningful. On the other hand, Bai Jincting did not react excessively. There were no big movements, no dramatic expressions, but it was precisely that calmness that made the audience even more curious. His gaze was directed at Jeang Runin for a very short time, but it was intense enough to be felt. The smile that appeared on his face was not the wide smile he usually showed in front of the camera, but a faint, almost subtle smile, as if it was meant for only one person. There was a pause there, a pause that was too quiet amid the hustle and bustle of the event, a pause that seemed to separate them from the outside world, even if only for a moment. Some observant fans even noticed Bai Jingting's slightly leaning posture, his protective attitude, and the way he refrained from reacting too much. It was as if he was aware that his every move was being watched, but at the same time, he was unable to completely hide his natural feelings. Such reactions are not something that can be easily learned or trained. They stem from habit, from closeness, from feelings that have become too familiar to be completely hidden. It didn't take long for video clips and photos of the moment to spread widely on social media. Netizens from various platforms began to slow down the video, enlarge the screen, and analyze every second with great emotion. Comments began to appear, not just as empty speculation, but as emotional reactions from people who felt they were seeing something genuine. Many said that what was captured on camera was not a normal interaction between two coworkers, but an emotional reflex that was difficult to fake. Some said that the gesture was too gentle to be merely professional, too awkward to be called normal, and too synchronized to be considered a coincidence. What made the public even more enthralled was the fact that after the moment became a hot topic of conversation, no clarification emerged. There was no quick denial, no official statement attempting to quell speculation. Zhang Ruonan Bai Jingting chose to remain silent. And in the entertainment world, silence often speaks louder than words. Silence gives room for the public's imagination to grow, gives time for speculation to take root, and gives the impression that perhaps there is something they want to protect, something they are not yet ready to share with the world. As each day passed, public attention did not subside. On the contrary, every small interaction at the next opportunity began to be observed more intensely. The way they stood, the way they glanced at each other, even the distance between them now felt laden with meaning. It all came back to that initial moment, one small gesture that opened the door to so many questions. Is this just a coincidence exaggerated by the cameras and the expectations of fans? Or is this indeed a confirmation without words, an admission that has slipped out of control? Love, if it exists, often does not come with a grand announcement. It arrives quietly, sneaking in through habits, through comfort, through gestures made unconsciously. And sometimes, it is precisely in those unplanned moments that the truest truths surface. A smile that was too late to hide, a gaze that lingered too long, a reaction that was too sincere. All of it was enough to make the public feel that they were witnessing something real. Whatever the truth may be, this moment has left a mark that is difficult to erase. Zhang Ruonan Bai Jingting may never have confirmed anything directly, but for many people, those gestures spoke volumes. A brief moment that now lives on in memory, inviting hope, curiosity, and a warm feeling that is difficult to explain. And until time provides its own answer, the public will continue to remember one thing. Sometimes, the biggest secrets are revealed through the simplest things.